august organization. Then you close the door. There we go. Okay, sorry. Welcome to the 2014 annual general meeting, and what we usually do, and I think it's especially important now that we know who you are, if you would mind, we'll go around the room and just say your name and if you're a board member currently or not, and what brought you to, just very simple, like, and something other than the number 10 bus that brought you to, to this meeting, or to VanLug in general. So, I'm John Weintraub. I've been on the board as president for 18 billion years, and I came here because I'm interested in Linux. It's really fascinating by it. Bill?
Right, I'm Bill McGraw. I'm vice chair. It was the number 17 bus, but I think I can't remember how long I haven't been involved with VanLug, so.
Yeah, I think you're one of the very earliest pioneers.
Yeah, it's sort of getting difficult now, so that's why I'm here. I'm sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm Sid. I got an invitation, so I thought I could do the car.
Okay. And you've been involved with Linux on the marketing side for quite a while, haven't you?
Well, promotions.
Promotion, yeah.
That we're promoting. I'm a floss advocate.
Yeah.
And very urgent and devout promoter of Ubuntu, at least. And
Yeah.
now FreeGeek. Now I'm involved with FreeGeek. So.
Welcome to hashtag North Korea without the barbed wire. Anyway, I digress. Alex?
I'm Alex. I've been using Linux since about 98 or so.
And you are on the board.
I was, but membership elapsed, right? So
No, that doesn't stop you from being on the board member. It just stops you from voting. But I don't think you're considering running. But we'll see if you change your mind in the meeting. Welcome. Go ahead.
My name is Peter Gordon. I first learned Unix basics in 1995. I came to become better acquainted with Vancouver Linux User Group because I was part of the PHP Users Association, and there's an evident crossover in interest in technology and the interest in promoting free open source software.
Great.
And so I've occasionally attended meetings.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm William. I've been using Unix since, I guess, 1984. So Linux is the new kid on the block as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I don't know, I studied computer science, so I'm interested in computers. And since I moved to Vancouver 10 years ago or so, I eventually found VanLug and found out where you meet, and now I'm here.
Yeah. Great. Glad to have you here.
It's Ian. I've been using Linux since '96
Yeah.
because I didn't want to spend money on a compiler to do my computer science program. And because Microsoft didn't give me any support, I've become a false advocate.
Part of the AGM crowd, right? Anything but Microsoft.
Yes.
Yes.
Ali, I'm the treasurer, Linux usage for 12 years-ish.
Yeah. I think.
My name is Devin. I've been using Linux since 2002 or so. And my first VanLug meeting was the Open Welcome meeting.
The open. Which
Remember
one?
not.
The
Oh.
phone.
Oh, I see. Oh, interesting.
Android copied it.
Kim?
I'm Kim Kulak. I am membership secretary and past president. I've been with VanLug since the very beginning. I missed the very first meeting, but I've been to almost everyone since. Or probably, 15, 16 years now? I think it was the late 90s. And it's just habit.
Like an old worn coat, but you like it. Is that
Yeah.
Patrick?
I'm Patrick, I'm on board. Happened for about 6 years, so that's what happened up here.
Go ahead.
TJ, Unix since about 84, Linux since about 96 something. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Brian?
Brian, I am the secretary as well up to date, and I've been involved in Linux pretty much about a year behind Kim with VanLug, so just involved in Unix and Linux on and off with those. And Teams.
Yeah. Okay, and last but not hardly least.
Duncan, been using Linux commercially and recreational since the last millennium, and been an irregular but long-time supporter of VanLug.
Now, just as a quick, interesting fact, I've actually been president for about 5 times longer than I've been just a general member. So, how I did that, I have no idea, but here I am. Anyway.
Volunteer.
Sorry?
You volunteered.
Actually, Kim and I wrestled and he won. So this is the agenda. And I'll just read it out to you since we don't have paper. Call to order, establishment of quorum, acceptance of minutes of last AGM. Do you have
I
those?
do not have a paper copy of that, and I apologize.
Do you have an electronic copy?
I do not have access to where it's stored in email.
Okay. Acceptance of agenda, president's report, the year in review, financial reports, membership dues review, VanLug Dave Michelson award presentation, special resolutions, board elections, and then set date and time of the first meeting of the new board of directors, and motion to adjourn. And then we have the highlight, which is the year-end celebration where you can go drink, if you so choose. You don't have to. Anyway, okay, so.
That's pop, right?
And it's, well, it's booze if you want it. If you pay for it, it's booze. Okay, so I need a motion from the floor to accept the agenda as presented. And before I do, are there any amendments desired? Seeing none, can I get a motion to accept the agenda?
Want to put in the book wrapper in there.
We'll sneak that in. It's not actually an AGM item, but we'll sneak it in after, right after the board elections. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
What new business?
Well, no, it's not really. There's no new business in an AGM. It's just, it is what it is. Okay, so are you putting a motion forward?
I'll put the motion forward.
Any seconders? Kim, okay. And please remember to use your, handy dandy, old school,
You don't count these, right, for the AGM, we have to count these now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we do.
so
Yeah, So-
hold them up.
yeah, we couldn't afford smartphones for everybody, so. All those in favor? All those opposed? Seeing none, the agenda passes. Okay. So, and we have established quorum. We know we have quorum.
Should we count these votes, or
We don't have to.
don't have to?
Not for this. It's
Okay.
just a general show of hands.
Okay.
Or papers. Okay, so, because the year in review sort of takes a lot of what I covered, I'll just hit the 2 highlights, which are that we had, we finally became a society, re-registered as a society. What that gives us is some governance protection and some protection if we should need liability and insurance and so forth. And it gives us a more formal structure, and reporting gives us the opportunity to have more paperwork with the government.
And who do we have to thank for that?
Me. Mainly, we have these 2 to thank.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I was the one who said we should do this. Bill nagged me to do it. These 2
Actually did all the work.
did 95% of the work. All we did was still sit there and say, gee, we're going to take all the credit and let these 2 do all the work. But you two did a sterling job of getting that done, and we very much appreciate it. And the other thing we are doing, in the process of doing, is getting our website revamped. Since we lost our last web designer to, we don't know where.
Prosperity.
Probably. We are setting up a large web committee of people who are going to contribute. And we have Peter to thank for helping to organize that. And we are also going to be putting on something called Linux Fair, which is our own version of Linux Fest Northwest and what have you. So far that's the working name. We may go with another name, but we're looking for volunteers for both. So if you've got PHP and Perl, spread it. Someone remind me what the site is currently written in. Come on.
Drupal PHP.
Drupal and PHP. So if you've got those skills, please. If you don't, there's other things you can do, I'm sure, but like content provision, that would be very useful. So I'm going to go through the year in review. So we had various presentations, some from outsiders, some from our own people. Firefox OS presentation. Brian did USB sticks and privacy. We had the barbecue. We had a very well attended ethics in technology and privacy with Richard Rosenberg. Tech Crime, which was apparently even more well attended than that. I think we had what? How many people showed up for that thing?
Don't know,
30,
quite a few.
Over 50, that's for
Over
sure.
50, yeah. I think somebody said 65 people showed up for that, which was really quite good. We had a general tech meeting. I'm not sure what that was. I think just some people did some presentations of.
We just had a casual meeting because the speaker canceled at the last meeting.
Yeah, so I think most of the board showed up.
Yeah, then we just yacked.
Yeah,
Which is a lot of fun.
which was a lot of fun, yeah. And the State of Python presented by Andy McKay, and we had our New Year party in February, because apparently we're just slightly off kilter. Then Brian did another presentation. Thank you very much, Brian. Server room hints, tips, and tricks. Quantum computing, which was a really cool presentation on quantum computing, using quantum mechanics to get a much more powerful computing process in a much smaller container. Because apparently a general computer that did the sort of things that quantum computers are said to be able to do would require hundreds and hundreds of square meters of space. And this thing is about the size of a telephone box, or double the size of a telephone box, and can do all that work that a general computer can't do anywhere near as well. We had a volunteer recruitment night, which went well. We got about 12 people out, which for our group is quite good, because I know how many people are quite busy. And I lost my speaking virginity by doing the April 28th presentation about using scientific methodology to do troubleshooting in network admin. We had the Trusty Tar release party at Free Geek and Ubuntu Vancouver, which was, how successful was that?
Oh, that was very good. We had over quite a few, about 50 again.
55, yeah.
Yeah, and a good mix from all three groups, and everybody worked together and ate pizza and had a great time.
Yeah, good. Okay. And then Shaul Bapti did Berkeley's systems distribution of Unix, and talked about the various flavors of Unix, and gave quite a good presentation. And then we had Ian, who's right there, gave a security Heartbleed Nessus
and Snort.
Yeah. And then we had, which I wasn't able to attend, and Linux Fair website redesign committee meeting, yet another meeting of that, which again was well attended by many of the same people, which is good if we get people showing up twice in a row. That's fantastic. Now, something I didn't mention in the President's review is that according to meetup.com, we have the third largest in Meetup, the third largest Linux users group in the world, which, considering where we were 5 years ago and where we are now, is quite a dramatic improvement. And credit goes to the board, the various members of the board's directors and the executive who put in a lot of work. Bill especially has been very good at getting these raffles. He's done, so I think some of the, I would say most of the work in getting the getting people into meetings, and then that resulted in sales of memberships and so forth. And his brainstorm of having the book raffle was a very good fundraising, because usually we were losing money. Now we're starting to actually make some money, which is good. And mind you, not that we're in, as you're going to find out, not that we're in a bad way financially, but it's always good to have more money. And we've had an increase. Now, I'd say participants are different from paid members. Participants are people who show up and don't buy a, hello, you might want to see before you sit down. Participants are people who have not bought a paid membership. They show up to events, they show up to meetings and so forth, but they're not paid. Anyway, and so our goals are to increase our paid membership, and one of the ways we expect to be able to do this is we're going to make possible through the website for people to buy memberships. And the idea of doing that is that instead of going to having to attend a meeting, people will be encouraged to, contribute to fundraise for our organization on the web, which through PayPal or some other means, which will help us significantly. And we have another goal that we've always had, which is outreach to other tech groups, which we've done some of. We certainly have gotten outreach with Ubuntu Vancouver and FreeGeek. The PHP users group, Peter has had some involvement with negotiating a talk between them and us. Outreach to University, College and Tech Institute, Computer Science and Systems Departments, that's an ongoing thing. And then, as I said, the Linux Fair and the website revamp. And so we want to thank the executive, which is myself as president, Bill McGraw as vice president, Alice Shams, who's sitting right here, who's been able to come here, which is very good. Brian here, who's been our secretary. Alice Shams is our treasurer. Chris, who isn't here, is our social media coordinator. And Kim Kulak, our membership secretary and past president. Can we have a round of applause for the executive, please? And then we have the directors at large, one of whom unfortunately passed away. Yaakov Nachum Ben Abraham passed away early last year, not too long after the, I think he was a board member for about 3 months or 4 months before he passed away. Am I mistaken in that, or? That's correct? Okay. And then Devin, who's right here, been very helpful. Patrick, well, all the board members have been very helpful. Patrick, Sandy right there. Harondale has not been able to show up for many meetings, unfortunately, but when he has, he's very helpful. Alex and Ian Kite. So, on to the financial reports, and you are up, sir. So, you want to come to the front and speak, or is it more comfortable? Whatever is most physically comfortable for you.
Okay, so for 2014, our total revenue was $1,035.61. Our total expenditures was $1,145.95. That's a net loss of $110.34. Membership fees, were about 160, donations about 297, raffles about 54, but those don't take into account the last few months. Interest was $1. Our accounts stand at $97.59 for membership shares, $1,732.25 for the community services account, and $10,190 for the cash roll account. The only suggestion for next year is to make sure that we have receipts for all the money donated. It's required to comply with the law. Receipt books can be found at Staples, and I think there's a couple in the treasury box for anyone who's going to be taking the money. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, we need a motion from the floor to accept the financial report as read out. Are there any questions for Alishams before we do that? No questions?
If you want to see the ledger, you can take a look at it, or I'd be happy to mail it to you.
Yeah.
So our loss is a lot less than it was last year?
Last year, I can quickly look it up.
Because I think we burned a bit from the previous year.
I think.
Yeah, I don't think last
So
year was a
we-
loss.
okay.
About $110 loss when we took in 1,000-ish. It's end of the world.
Yeah, especially considering how much money we actually have.
Yeah, the registration process was a bump that we shouldn't see for another few years, and hopefully never again, but
Okay.
at least another few years.
Yeah, that's what they call a one-time expense. So it's, it's not gonna repeat itself, we hope, as you say. And as long as we keep up with our records, we should do fine. Yeah, most of the expenses are things like just miscellaneous stuff. Someone bought some food for this event, or bought, a banner, or did this or did that, or, was given money to do X, Y, and Z. And everything's receipted, almost everything, right? Just about everything?
Sorry?
Just about everything is receipted?
Receipted?
It has receipts associated with it?
Everything does.
Oh, good, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Can't give out money without receipts.
No, that's true. So, any other questions? Okay, can I get a motion from the floor to accept the financial report? Bill so moves. Any seconders? Kim? All right. Sorry, I know you want to, but it's just whoever happens to fall in my usual range first. Discussion on the motion? Seeing none, call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? And one abstention.
I'm not,
Are you a paid member?
No.
I'm not a paid member. I should buy my membership today.
Okay. Well then, no abstentions, it's unanimous.
So
Okay. I thought you were a member, that's
I have a card at home with the membership, but it's
expired?
expired.
Okay.
You want to renew so you can vote? You can do it right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote with I would vote with quorum anyways,
Oh,
with the
okay.
consensus. So.
Well, that's not a big problem, it's just and
How
the
much
waiting
is
period
it?
is 0.17 nanoseconds, so it's
Yeah.
21?
not a
We
huge.
had $409 profit last year.
Hmm?
Oh,
400?
and 9, we were up. So this year we're down by 110. So between the 2 years, we were up.
Okay.
We were up.
Well,
So
I'll get working on the tickets here, man.
actually, let's go over.
Oh,
This.
my apologies.
There is another vote that we have to deal with.
I will get the paperwork to him immediately.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so as stipulated in our bylaws, our membership dues must be reviewed every year at each AGM. And currently, the way we do this is that membership dues are $20 or $10 for hardship cases. Is there anyone who wants to raise the amount, lower the amount, change, provide another category? Any discussion on that concept?
I'm just curious, our membership dues enough to keep the club running?
We have a large, we have what we refer to as a road to motel bank account. Money goes in, but it never leaves. So usually what we have is just the 110 losses from our current, what's called a current account. But generally speaking, money goes in, it doesn't go out. We're not bad for money. I mean, it's good that we don't lose. Last year we had won, we made money. And hopefully once we get the website up and running and people can either donate directly, you know, or buy a membership, then that will increase our money flow. Certainly one of the reasons that we have had an increase in money flows is because of the book raffle, but we do try and sell memberships every single tech meeting. We make a request that people buy memberships to support VanLug, and they generally do.
A direct answer is not quite. Is that okay? I apologize, John.
Well, I was giving them
You're all
more.
over the place.
You were giving the accurate answer, and I was giving the political answer. There we go. Okay, so, any other questions, discussion? Okay, so can I get a motion from the floor? I can't specify the motion, but the motion would be framed as, I'll give you a hint, to keep the current membership dues structure as it currently exists. Can I get a motion from somebody? You so move. Okay, any seconders? Bill is going to second. All right. You weren't quite as fast with your reflexes this time, were you? Usually
I was gazing off into space.
Oh, okay. All right. Call the question. All those in favor, please raise your cards. All those opposed, none. It passes. Okay. I'm not voting, by the way, because I'm here to break ties, but there hasn't been any ties to be broken, so I'm not doing anything. Kim, you are up.
Okay. Okay. Dave Michelson Award is something that we started 2006, something like that, I believe. And it's just something that we give to somebody who has done a lot of work for free and open source and just doesn't seem to get enough credit for all the hard hours that they have put in. There's some, the first recipient was, of course, Dave Michelson. And it was the year that he stopped as president of VanLug, so he went out on a highlight here. This year's recipient is Peter Gordon. I've known Peter from, let's see, I guess the conferences, the open web conferences that Peter organized. So very good get-togethers with very classy shirts. Let's see. I am going to read a little bio that Bill put together here, since he did such a great job of it. For more than a decade, Peter Gordon's technical bona fides have been impeccable. As a web designer and lead developer, he has worked with many prominent West Coast clients in the film industry, nonprofit sector, and e-commerce economies. He is both a Drupal and WordPress developer and has integrated many tools to craft websites for data entry and analysis, employee evaluation, competitive product analysis, business and nonprofit fundraising. His broad range of expertise extends from PHP and MySQL to RSS feeds, dynamic spreadsheets, digital photography, shopping carts, and payment modules, as well as the usual suspects like HTML and CSS. In the public sphere, Peter was the lead inspiration behind 3 successful world-class open-source technical conferences featuring international speakers and participation organized by the Vancouver PHP Users Association. He has presented to Linux Fest Northwest in Bellingham, the GNU Linux Conference in Seattle, and VanLug on virtualization. To UBC students on PHP and the Vancouver WordPress Conference on deployment scripting. Okay. Peter Gordon embodies the best of the open source community, Like Dave Michelson, longtime chair of VanLug, Peter is a master of technology and a longtime committed open source organizer, advocate, and activist. The world could use more Peter Gordons. It is our pleasure to present the 2014 Dave Michelson Award to Peter Gordon. Congratulations, Peter. You make us proud.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, wow.
The award comes with
Wow.
a really fancy certificate.
We gotta get some more signatures on that. Yeah.
And a picture
Open
there.
it up.
We should take a picture of you.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is, you know, something for the recipient to keep.
Yeah.
As well as there's a plaque with every recipient's name engraved on it.
Is there
And we will get your name onto the plaque.
Kim, is there a copy of that little bio? Because that is beautifully written.
I know.
And,
If I need words, I send an email to Bill and say, Bill, I need words. And he gives them to me.
Yeah.
And he does a brilliant job of words.
Yes, he does, but not Microsoft Word.
Actually, why don't I email that to you since my notes are on the back of that sheet?
sure.
And now he has an alibi.
That's true, that's a big
Now
advantage.
people know what I was doing tonight.
Yeah, why don't we have you come around?
Okay, sure. Sure.
I'll email this to you.
Thank you.
And I'll make a note on the back to email it to Peter.